Hey, how y'all doing out there in YouTube land? Well, this is part two. Part two of knives I think would make great Christmas gifts for knife people. For knife people. People who love edge tools. Okay? These would make great knives for people who like knives and likes to collect them, likes to use them, what have you. This is a mixed bunch of different, a mixed bunch of different brands. And these are ones I've tried over the last 2 to 3 years. And I have another special place I keep these. These are like my favorites of the ones I've tried over the past years that weren't cold steels. And well, let's just go through these really quick. Let's start right here. The Spyderco sliver axe with the compression lock and S30V blade. I'm pretty sure it's S30V. Yep, S30V. And this one's made in Taiwan. The Spyderco Taiwan plant is known for making beautiful knives. So either if you get them from Colorado or Taiwan, they're excellent knives. This is the compression lock. I absolutely love the compression lock. Even though it's sort of like a reverse liner lock in a way, I think the lock itself hits the blade tang at more different points. So I think it's stronger than a liner lock. That'd be my idea about it. I don't know for sure. I've never seen it tested. But I like the way it has this deep finger choil. So even if the lock was to come apart or give out, this knife can't fold in on your hand. This is a super safe knife. This is probably one of the most safe Spydercos that I've ever seen. For a self-defense folder also. And it has awesome grips for self-defense. Either in the reverse grip or the forward grip. You have two great positionings. Your hand's not going to come up on that blade. You're totally protected. Even if the lock was to get out, this knife's not going to fold in on your hand. It actually just pops back into its locked position. And it's super slicey and super strong. It's got a nice thick blade stock. Highly recommend the sliver axe. Now this is not a cheap knife. This has a carbon fiber laminated handle, but I really like the way that they did this. They did a good job on it. It's laminated over G10. It's carbon fiber and G10. Hey, Juju. Juno's joining us here. Absolutely love that one. Yes, my girl. You ready for Christmas? I'm trying to show people some gift ideas for Christmas. That's what I'm doing. What you doing? Just kind of come see Grandpa? Huh? Yes, my girl. Okay, sweet. Get down. Let me finish the video. That's my girl. I see ya. Okay, you can sit right there. Be the co-host. Be the co-host. I know you just woke up because you were over there sleeping, huh? All right. Next up, we got the amalgam. This is another great one by Spyderco that I really like. It's made pretty much the same way as the sliver axe with the compression lock. Has a nice flipper to keep your fingers safe. A lot of people don't like these flippers on the Spydercos, but it makes this type of lock super safe, and it makes the knife super safe. And these are very lightweight, easy to carry, and it's a nice sized knife with a nice sized blade, and it's excellent, super safe. See that? Both the sliver axe and this one I highly recommend. Even though the sliver axe is the one I always carry, I haven't carried this one as much as I carried the sliver axe, but I absolutely love this one too. I think they're both worth the money. All right, Juno, you gotta get down, sweetie. And they both have S30V blades. I see you. You just love Grandpa so much. You just love your Grandpa, huh? I know you do. That's my girl. Okay, sweetie. Get on down, Carol. Next up, another Spyderco that I really like And I'm not the biggest Spyderco fan, but there are a few Spydercos that are made by Spyderco that I absolutely love. And this is one of them. The Manix 2XL. I have two of these. One's mint that I've never used, and this is the one that got used. As you can see, it's been used a lot. The only thing I modify on these is the ball cage. I like to put the Fly titanium ball cage in it. And once you do that, it's perfect. You don't need to do anything else to it. It's perfect. Absolutely love these. This one's made in the United States at Golden, Colorado. CPMS 30V also. I've never had a problem with CPMS 30V. I've heard some people say they don't like it or whatever. I don't know. You know, for my uses, it works perfectly fine. Just like most of these new stills. Most of these new stills are so awesome. It's like they're all like pretty good now. I know when I was young, you know, back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and all that kind of stuff. Back in the dark ages for many of you. But they didn't have any really good steels. Compared to, like, you know, if you compare those steels that they had back then to what's good now, they didn't really have good steels. The only thing that was like the best steel was like really like the, was either, you know, 1095 or, you know, and that's a carbon steel. But the only stainless steel that was really good was like the 428C that was Boss heat treated by buck knives. And that's about it. And they had like 440C, that was good. And then like in the 90s, I remember we had like ATS 34, 154CM, 440C, 428C still, Oz 8, and VG10. No, it's VG1, not VG10 yet, VG1. And Carbon V is just 1095 CV. Or Carbon 5, whatever you want to call it. That's about it. And then like, you had like 420J, which was like the kind of steel that was like rust proof, but it didn't hold an edge very well at all. But that, other than that, that was it. There wasn't, Benchmade had the M2 speed steel, which is like M4 now. They replaced it with the M4, but they used to, before there was M4, there was M2 speed steel. And I had that several AFCK folders I had. That's about the way I remember. I don't really remember too many other steels. There wasn't like a whole lot of steels like there is nowadays. Nowadays there's tons of steels. This is one of the great ones. I love the way the handle feels. It's nice and flat, so it's easy to carry. You know me, I like to carry my things concealed. And this is before I really got into deep carry pocket clips, but this would be great if they made a deep, I know somebody probably makes a deep carry pocket clip for it. But if that's the case, then it would be totally hidden in your pocket. It's got a flat finish DLC coating. And this is the only DLC coating I've sort of worn. I don't know if you can see that. It's got a lot of pocket wear in it because I like this knife. I carry it a lot. As you all know, I like flat ground blades for work knives. Why? Because I use them for food prep. Excellent knife. Excellent knife. Highly recommend the Spyderco Manix 2XL. Or any of the Spyderco Manixes. I think the Ballbearing-Lock's a safe lock also. It doesn't need to be a flipper. This is another one that I absolutely love. This is my favorite M16 from CRKT. But it does have a little issue that the blade pivot comes loose. And if you're a person that you're giving it to doesn't know how to fix it, it might be an issue. So that might not be the best bet unless the person that you're giving a knife to really knows about knives. If that's the case, then this is an awesome knife. It's got the Kin Onion assist, so it's like almost like an automatic. All you gotta do is just touch the flipper tab, and bam, it comes out automatically, pretty much. That's why I like it so much. It's got nice thick aluminum scales. These are solid aluminum slabs. They're only thinned out where the Kin Onion spring is. It's got the Flavio Kuma deadbolt with Flavio Kuma's IKBS ball bearing system in it. Everything works good except for the pivot. I wish they could figure out how to make the pivot so it doesn't come loose. And on my other models, if you Loctite the pivot screw, because it screws into the liner. The pivot screw screws into the liner. If you Loctite it with red Loctite, it doesn't come loose anymore. But on this one with the Kin Onion springs, it will come loose after about 20 openings or so. It'll start to come loose. But I absolutely love this knife. I love the shape of this Tonto blade. I like the thickness of it. It's like 3.5 millimeters thick, if I remember right. A 6061 aluminum handle scales with the Flavio Kuma deadbolt. It's a Kit Carson, Master Sergeant Kit Carson design. He's passed away now. This knife was sort of like a tribute to him, if you ask me, by Kin Onion and Flavio Kuma. They took his design and added their little tweaks to it. And this is what the result is. It's a beautiful knife. Beautiful knife. I love the deadbolts. But every deadbolt I've ever owned had that issue where the pivot comes loose and you have to Loctite it, the manual ones. And then they're fine after that. But the automatic ones, or the semi-automatic ones, I should say, the assisted ones, I can't get those the pivots to stop coming loose on them. But I still love these knives. This is another one with the Kin Onion assist and the Flavio Kuma deadbolt. It's a Kit Carson design. This the M1603 DB. The other one's the M1604 DB. Beautiful blade. And these are some strong knives too. These aren't wimpy knives. Beautiful knives. Absolutely love them, but I'm letting you know that the pivots will come loose. And if the person that you're giving something to can't handle that, then that may not be the best gift for them. Next one up, the pivots come loose on this one, but you can red Loctite the pivot where it doesn't come loose anymore. These are the manual ones. This one right here is a Clever Girl. It was designed by Austin McLawn. He's a not Vietnam, but not Iraq. The next war. I'm sorry, people. I'm blanking. But he's a U.S. Army veteran, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Army that he was in. I think he was in Afghanistan. I think that's where he's a veteran from. But when he came back stateside, he became a knife designer, knife maker. And this is CRKT's version of his fixed blade that he designed for CRKT. It's thick G10 handle scales. One thing that's cool about these ones, the manual ones, is that you can adjust the detent. The detent adjustment is right there. So you can adjust them to be any way that you want them. Absolutely love it. This one's called the Clever Girl. It has a D2 blade with the PVD coating. This one is a Flavio Kuma design. When he first designed the deadbolt and put it in production with CRKT, it's called the Seismic. This one, if you bought one, it wouldn't look exactly like this one. I've polished this one and done some custom stuff to it. But this is basically a Seismic. This one has the German Corrupt 4116 steel. Which, if you ask me, is an excellent steel for you're going to use this as a self-defense tool. These are awesome. Love these too. Next one up is one of my favorite budget knives, is a CJRB Recoil-Lock Krog. It's the Krog. This has the ARRPM9 powdered steel, stainless steel blade, G10 handle scales. These are like in between $30 and $40. You can usually find them in between $30 and $40. I think I paid like $33 for this one, at $33 or $34. I have several of these. I have like 3 of them. I have another black one with black handles with the ARPM9 steel. And then I have a OD green one with the original one when they first started making these with D2 steel. Why do I have 3? Because each year I keep putting one in my box because I like carrying these sometimes. These are my knives I like to use for like when I cut boxes open. Like, I don't know, you can see this one has a little blade wear because I use it for cutting big cardboard boxes open. Why? Because it's $34. It has a really good steel, you know, for cutting, for doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? For, you know, the ARPM9 handles that stuff like, you know, like is made for it. Same thing with the D2 one. Great knife for, you know, actual, you know, work, like cutting open things that you don't want to use your nicer blades on. That's the purpose of this one for me. And besides that, it's a fun knife. It's fun to fidget with too. It's a great knife. Next one up is one that I carry a lot because, you know me, I like to carry a letter opener or something like that when I go to the P.O. box, go check my P.O. box. This was one of my favorites right here. It's been replaced by the 80-20.5s though. It got retired by the 80-20.5s, but before I had the 80-20.5s, this is what I used to like to carry for my small knife. And as you can see why I really like the 80-25s over this one because the handle's not big enough. But I love this blade though. I love blades like this, so that's why I like the shark's foot. Shark's foot blade wasn't the first type of blade I started using like that. Absolutely love it. This is the Hogue Micro, I think it's called a Micro Flip. Has, what is it, I'm trying to remember what kind of steel. I think it's, it's CPM. It's CPM 154. So it's got the premium 154, CPM powdered steel 154. And these, I think these have, oh, this is CPM 154 also. And this is the Hogue X5. This is my favorite Hogue. Of all the Hogues, this is the one for folders. These are the models I like the best. Why? Because look at that big finger trail, a big finger groove. You're totally protected. Plus, these have a Plunge-Lock lock right here. So now you can't release it by pushing the button now. And not only that, they have good lockup. They cover a good portion of the blade tank. So it makes me feel like this would be a strong Plunge-Lock. And it's got Hogue quality, and the Hogue finish on the blade edges is second to none. Hogue does some of the best sharpening jobs in the industry, if you ask me. They always give you polished edges. I don't think I've ever received a Hogue knife that didn't have a polished edge. That was razor sharp. Excellent quality from Hogue. Great Christmas present. This is a Harley Davidson edition one. They don't make these anymore, I don't think, but you can get the regular X5s. This is the one that I carry all the time. All these knives are knives that I've carried and still do carry. This is my little Kiko that I always tell you guys about. My other 3-inch blade knife that I really like. See, my hand. Got a nice grip on this. I love the grip on this. I've carried this one a lot. This one's been carried a lot. I got like 3 or 4 different Kikus. I even have one that's made out of carbon fiber handle. And it's super lightweight, but I like the heavy one better. I like this one better. I love the XR-Lock. The XR-Lock's my favorite crossbar style lock of all the ones I've tried. I love the way it comes with the flipper. Because I love the Benchmade lock, but I like this one better because I feel safer with this one, because even if the lock was to give out, you're safe. Excellent knife. Highly recommend the SOG Kiku XR-Lock. Highly recommend this one too, the SOG Pentagon. It's another one of my favorites. This one's been carried a lot. Another one of my favorite knives. Absolutely love it. The Pentagon. It's one of my favorite all-time knives. Next on the roll is, as y'all know, I love this one. by SOCP. 391 BK. It's got a D2 blade. Oh, the saw, this one, these two have, this one has micarta handle scales, and it has a CTS XHP blade. This one has G10 handle scales and CTS XHP blade. This is D2, Benchmade. Absolutely love it. This is the one I've broken both Omega springs on this one. Because I like to play with it so much. I like to carry it a lot. I absolutely love this knife. This is like one of my favorite stilettos to actually carry. I call this a stiletto. To me, I would call it a tactical stiletto. Absolutely love it. Also have this one with a partially serrated blade. And I have another one that's like this one. I think I have two partially serrated blades and two ones like this. And I think I have like 3 or 4 Contigos too. I have 4 Contigos. This is another one of my favorite Benchmades of all time. It's the Benchmade Contigo. This is my favorite, what I would call heavier duty Benchmade. Because I don't think of any Benchmade as being like a heavy duty knife, because even though the axis lock is still very strong and stuff like that, to me it's still not it's not a triad. You know what I mean? I'm not going to use this one to baton through wood or things like that because I don't want to damage it. I would use it for cutting chores, like like making feather sticks or something like that. But I wouldn't use this for batoning or anything like that. To me, it's merely meant to be like a self-defense folder. I think the Contigos were made for soldiers. This is a black class folder. Even though this one's been modified because I put custom aluminum scales on it. And this is one of the special edition ones from Knife Works when they had the special edition ones with the M390 blades, as opposed to having the M4 blades like my other two have. I have 2 with M390 blades and 2 with M4 blades. The M4 blade ones are all blacked out. It's stock, the way that Benchmade made them. And my other M390 blade is stock the way it became as a special edition. This one I took it and I modified it. Because I like stainless steel, people. I know the M4 is an awesome steel, but also rust. And I have carried the M4 ones. All my Contigos I've carried. I don't have any collector Contigos. But actually, the other one like this could be the collector because I've never really carried that one. I carried this one and the other 2 black ones. They've both been carried. I really love the Contigo. As you can tell, this one's been carried a lot. You got a lot of little dings on it. I don't know if you can see that little stuff. If you look real close at it. It's got a lot of wear on it. I've had it for several years. I don't even know how many, maybe 5 years or so. I don't even know how long I've had it. I've had it whenever these were having the Knife Works special edition. I don't know if it was like 2, 3, 4 years ago. I've lost track. But this is my favorite Contigo. This is the one that I carry. The other ones I don't really carry that much no more. This one I still carry. Next up would be the Benchmades. Now, it's still on the Benchmades, I mean. But these are the new ones, the Crew Wear. This is a really nice little knife. And this is another one I forgot about that fits my hand that I like. With a small blade. Absolutely love it. And this is the big brother, Crew Wear. Also have the D2 one, but that's not a new one. These are new. And this one, I accidentally filled the blade one time doing a pommel strike on it just to see if it would fail. Because there was people on the internet showing that it would fail if you did palm strikes with it. And I did it before and it didn't fail, and I did it on YouTube for you guys and it failed. So don't do pommel strikes with any, I wouldn't do pommel strikes with any access lock or crossbar lock knives. Because I think that's probably when they would most likely be able to fail, because the spring would bounce. If it bounces in the right angle, the blade will fold. Other than that, it's a beautiful knife. These are like super smooth, and they're not on bearings. These are washer knives. Prosper Fawn's washer knives. These are beautiful knives. Very, very nice. Next, we're gonna go into the frame locks. I'm not a liner lock person, people, so I don't really have liner locks, and so I have frame locks. And some of my favorite frame locks have always been the artisan frame locks. These are the artisan titanium frame locks. I think this one's probably an M390. Oh no, this is Damascus. I'm sorry, what am I saying? This is Damascus. I think they use either a VG10 or an S35VN steel for their Damascus, if I'm not mistaken, if I remember right. This one's just been, it was a Damascus one that, I like a polished Damascus. That's what this is polished Damascus. This is one that I modified. I forgot about that, people, I'm sorry. This is not a stock knife. This is a modified artisan cutlery knife with titanium handles and pocket clip. Absolutely love these. Absolutely love them. Excellent knives. Highly recommend them. The artisan titanium knives. This is another artisan titanium knife. And what steel was this one? This one's M390. This is the M390 one. Beautiful knives. And look at the blade stock, they're thick. Blade stock on this one, I think it's like almost 4 mil. I think it's 4 millimeters. I think all these are pretty much 4 millimeters. Yep. Okay. I forget what the name of this one was, because I've had these for a long time. I forget what the name. This one's the RKO. I remember that one, because this is the one that I've carried the most. The RKO. Absolutely nice. And this one has, it's a Dylan Mallory design. RKO, it's a Dylan Mallory design. I think he's a Californian too. I think Dylan Mallory's from California. And this is an M390 also. And that's the Dylan Mallory, that's his little mark that he puts on knives. I absolutely love this one. And this one has carbon fiber inlays in it. Highly recommend these. You can get these for less than $200. They made like very expensive knives, but because they come from artisan, they're not super expensive like if they were to come from a maker in the United States. And they're beautiful knives too. Beautiful. These are to me, some of the better frame locks. As far as like, for what you have to spend for them. This is another artisan knife. This is their Stiletto. Absolutely love this one too. Titanium handles. And this is M390 also. Now this one's S35VN. Oh, that's right. All mine are either M390, S35VN, or Damascus. That's what it was. Beautiful knives. This one's got a glass breaker on it. Another great frame lock, Integro frame lock. The one I think I probably like the best is this one. It's an SR11. Line steel SR11. I'm sorry, people. And this has Sleipner steel, which is like a better grade of D2. Awesome. It's an awesome carry. And it functions beautifully. It has a frame lock that works really well. Excellent knife. Made out of aluminum. The expensive version is made out of titanium. And this is a Kershaw Bare-Knuckle. I love this little knife. This is a great little work knife too. It has a different kind of lock. I forget what you call it. It's not exactly a frame lock, but it's not a liner lock either, because this part's bolted in. I forget what you call it. But I like this one too. And the kind of blade steel on this one's made in the United States. I can't remember what the blade steel was. I know it's a fairly decent blade steel, though. I can't remember what the blade steel was. Sorry about that, people. It's the Bare-Knuckle. American-made Bare-Knuckle. And this is the case. Kinzua. Kinzua. Wakanda forever. I love this one too. I have the newer model too, but it's put away, so I had to break out the old one that was out. Great knife. Case's new attempt at making some modern knives instead of making just traditionals all the time, and they're doing a great job of it. That one's made in the United States at the Case factory where they make the traditionals. And this is a ZT. A Zinkovich. That's what I think it's Zinkovich. Sinkovich design. And this one's a CPM 20 CV made in the United States. Titanium on this side, carbon fiber on this side. Absolutely love this one too. I like the way this one feels in my hand. And you know me, I like things that got a little that Persian look to them. Persian knives are just so sexy. Beautiful knife. I got two of these also. This is the one that I carry. This one's got marks on it from being used. And I still carry it sometimes when I want a big knife that's super light that I really trust. And this is I have two of these also. And this is the one that I've carried. This is my Condor from Dagger Knives, Russia. Absolutely love these. But I don't think they're making these anymore. They only have like one group of them, and then they start making something else. But these are awesome. It's a steel frame lock, stainless steel frame lock. And it's got stainless steel on both sides, lined on the other side also. And it's covered with a G10 scale. The blade steel is D2. Dagger knives. I love these. I remember when I got these, I wanted to get the Vendetta, and the Vendetta was sold out, so I got the Condors. I got two Condors. And I think these came from Blade HQ also. Absolutely love them. All right, people. Now I'm going to do one more video. One more video with my big knife suggestions. I know a lot of you think that these are big knives, but to me, these are just like pocket knives. Big knives got to be 5 inches or longer, right? When something's just 3.5 inches or like 4.5 inches, is that a big knife? Or is that, I would say it's large, but okay, the extra large knives. Next one, I'm going to show you my extra large knives I would suggest. Because I've showed you the smallest knives I carry are a couple of them have 3-inch blades, but the majority of the small knives I carry have like a 3.5-inch blade. In between 3 and 3.5-inch blade, somewhere around there. Because I tend to, at work, I tend to like to carry things that aren't intimidating looking, and that I can pull out in the kitchen area and do my food prep. And in case somebody walks in there, then I'm not going to freak out anybody or anything like that. This one right here, I've carried a lot. It's one of my favorite knives I used to carry all the time before the new button locks came out. When the new button locks started coming out, I started carrying those. But before that, this one was my main knife that I carried for work. I was going to have to slice stuff up. That one and this one, my two Spydercos. I still love them. I still absolutely love them. It's just I tried out different things later, and then, you know, with me, things get sort of set aside, and I keep trying out new things, and then things that get set aside get older and older. They're just sitting around. And I forget how much I liked them. And I pull them out for things like this, and I remember them, and I'll put them in my drawer. Because I like them better than a lot of the new things I'm trying out. But these are great knives. Highly recommend all these knives for Christmas gifts. And like I said, with the deadbolts, just be aware that the pivots come loose. And on the assistant ones, I would recommend those I would recommend deadbolts being given to people that know about knives. I wouldn't give a deadbolt knife to somebody that doesn't know about knives. Somebody that knows how to take apart a knife and do all that kind of stuff. All the rest of them are, you know, pretty much, I know this one's never needed any adjustment. I've used it all sorts of times for a couple of years now. And the blade's still tight. It's never needed adjustment. This one's been opened and closed 1 billion times. This one not so much because I didn't carry this one as much because it was heavier. This one's super light. I like that. And I like the length of it. But anyway, people, I'm going to close it off here for today. I made you guys 2 videos today. I'm going to try to get them out there for you. If not today, they'll be out tomorrow maybe, because it's starting to get late. So I may end up putting them out tomorrow. Anyway, peace out, Stiletto.